What if I could promise you riches and excitement and adventure? All you have to do is let me borrow your body to feel what you feel, to experience what you experience with the help of some cybernetic implants. Well, this is the premise of the series called Vicarious, and the last issue just dropped. We're going to talk about it. This is written by Ryan Parrott. You might be familiar with his work from Power Rangers, as well as the Massiverse, with art by Eleonora Carlini, who's done some work for DC Comics, and also Hellmouth from Boom Studios, a bunch of other great titles. This story follows Justin, a 20-something-year-old who is completely lost in life, and he has a life-altering encounter with a proxy. Proxies are people who essentially offer their services and pretty much rent out their bodies to anybody who will pay. And they do this through cybernetic implants, so anybody who could rent them will see what they see, experience what they experience. And these people who rent out their services, they're called linkers, and they can link up to them from anywhere in the world, from the comfort of their own homes, on their couch, in their bed, whatever they want. And they could rent them out for any reason, to go skydiving, to binge eat, to go on dates, and of course this is very dangerous and of course very illegal. Now, after this encounter with a proxy, Justin ends up becoming one, and he is thrust into this very dangerous but very exciting world, and he becomes one of the most requested and most successful proxies, and because of that he's creating enemies and putting a target on his back. He ends up pretty much being managed by one of the top proxy managers. Her name is Sylvia Sin, and she is very dangerous. Do not get on her bad side. But Justin, yes, he does get on her bad side, and it's really not good. Now, as we begin the final issue, issue 5, Justin has nearly been beaten to death, he's been blacklisted, and his ability to be a proxy has been ripped from him, and so he has to plot and scheme to get back into this world. But we also have discovered a lot about who Justin is, and first of all, Justin is not his name. So what happened to the real Justin? Whose identity did he steal, and why? And we learn about his past and his family, and more importantly, who his father is. After learning all of this, we're asking ourselves, what are Justin's true motives, and will he end up on top? It's him against the infamous Sylvia Sin, who's never been defeated. How will this issue wrap up? Now I'm going to pass this along to Ryan Parrott, the writer of the series. He has some words for you guys.
Hi, my name is Ryan Parrott, and I am the co-creator of Vicarious, along with the phenomenal artist Eleonora Carlini. So Vicarious is a sci-fi series from Boom Studios, and it takes place 5 minutes in the future, and it follows Justin Bright, who's an aimless 20-something who stumbles into the world of sex, drugs, and murder when he becomes a proxy, which is a growing class of poor, beautiful people who are willing to sort of stream any experience, and I do mean any, to the highest bidder. I've heard it described as sort of Strange Days meets Saltburn, but you can judge for yourself. The concept of live streaming isn't new and has been covered in other sci-fi work, but what drew me to the idea was the sort of the class system that it created. You know, like you have the linkers, who are people who want to experience things through other people, and then you have sort of proxies, who are the people who are out there actually doing the experiences. And what I really thought was interesting was, like, who are they? Why did they choose this life? And if they do it well, could it make you rich or famous, or could it kill you? So for me, it became a character study about this one man sort of stepping into the world and sort of the dangers of redefining yourself based solely on the wants and desires of other people. Coming into the final issue, you've seen Justin change a lot. He's reached the top of the proxy world and come crashing down. He's even changed his name several times, and he's had to do the things he feared the most, which is, face his family and his past. And that sort of leads us to the climax of this revenge plot, where all the different pieces and factions sort of spiral together. But, I've already said too much. One of the things that I loved about the final issue was there's a concept we plant early on in the series called hardjacking, where instead of a proxy sort of broadcasting their experiences, their linker can actually sort of reverse the feed and change the world that a proxy is sort of seeing and feeling. I always knew it would be Justin's sort of final trial, and we hint at it being dangerous and how it can sort of fry your brain. So I always sort of imagined it would be freaky and scary, and this is why you surround yourself with very, very smart people. Eleonora saw it as a visual relationship, a world created between the proxy and the linker. So she completely changed her art style and gave it this really cool sort of fantastical Beatles Yellow Submarine energy. And that helped me sort of reconceive the entire ending of the story thanks to her. So that was a really cool, collaborative experience with her. It just how you have this idea of what you think it can be, and then it completely changes because the art you see, which is the wonderful thing about comic books. I guess in closing, this was a world that I had been spiraling in my brain for years, and it wasn't until Daphne Plevin and Alison Gronowitz sort of forced me to find the right character that it actually finally took shape. And as someone who traditionally does superhero comics, it was a thrill to be able to do some sexy sci-fi that in some ways I guess reflects on where we are in society, because of the way that, how technology has sort of changed the way we experience love and life and sort of every part of the world around us. So to everyone who took a chance to read it and reach out. You have my heartfelt thanks. And to Sammy, thanks for being an ambassador for so many beautiful comic books out there. You never leave us astray.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for being in this video. I appreciate it, and congratulations on wrapping up Vicarious. It was a fantastic run. If you want to know more, you have to read and find out. So find a local comic book shop near you and pick up issue 5 today. If you don't have one near you, you can find any in the country and see if they have an online shop that you can support. One of my favorite genres is the cyberpunk genre, and this is kind of like cyberpunk adjacent. I just love good, dark sci-fi stories, so I had a lot of fun reading this. Now, this video has actually been brought to you by Boom Studios, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.